All right, hi everyone. Today we'll be learning how to make chocolate chip cookies. Before we start the lesson, I wanted to go over a little bit of an overview of what we'll be talking about today. All right, so first we will go over some objectives, which are the things that I want you to take away from this lesson. After that, I'll go over some important concepts that you will see throughout the recipe. Then I will introduce you to the first steps of any baking process, which will lead us directly into the recipe itself. And then after that, we'll take a quick quiz just to test your knowledge. And then at the very end, I will introduce you to the optional challenge. All right, so by the end of this lesson, you should be able to follow a basic cookie recipe. You should be able to identify ingredients and their functions, know how to follow measurements, and also understand key terms used throughout baking. The important concepts we will be seeing a lot throughout our recipe is cream ingredients, which is mixing together the butter and sugars, leveling agent, which is the baking soda, and that helps the cookies to rise for the perfect texture. Next, we have combined ingredients. This means mixing the wet and the dry ingredients together to create one batter. Next is full chocolate, which means to gently mix in your chocolate pieces to your batter. Then we have bake time, which means to bake your cookies for the recommended time for perfection. And then our doneness check, which means just letting us know that our cookie is done. The first step to any baking recipe is to make sure that you have all of your necessary ingredients and tools because you don't want to be in the middle of your recipe missing an ingredient. The second step is to preheat your oven because if you forget this, your cookie may not bake correctly. I'm not going to go over the entire recipe, but I am going to go over a couple of the concepts that we talked about prior. It's important that your cookies rise, so in order to do that, we need a leveling agent, which is our baking soda. This ensures that the cookie stays nice and fluffy and soft. When you get into the actual instructions, it will go over a couple of the concepts I talked about prior, which is combining ingredients, creaming ingredients, folding ingredients, and also the bake time. It's important that you follow the recipe to the best of your abilities. However, a cookie recipe is always able to kind of be adapted, and you can add whatever you want in it if you choose not to use chocolate chips. Here is just a quick little quiz to test your knowledge. The questions are: which of these is a leveling agent? What is the first step to making chocolate chip cookies? And true or false, you preheat your oven after you make your cookie dough. A fun little creative challenge that I put together was if you want to test your newfound knowledge of a cookie recipe, you can follow a basic recipe and add something fun. It doesn't have to be chocolate chips, and then bring them to class, and then the class will enjoy them, and we will try to guess your fun ingredient that you had added. Okay, so we are at the end of the lesson. So, some objectives that you should have taken away were how to be able to follow a cookie recipe, identify ingredients and their functions, know how to follow measurement, and also understand key terms used in baking. I also went over some important concepts, which were a leveling agent, combining ingredients, creaming ingredients, and folding ingredients. We also went over the first steps of any baking recipe, which is to make sure you have all of your ingredients and tools and to also preheat your oven. Lastly, we went over the recipe and I made sure to let you guys know to look out for some certain key concepts throughout your instructions. Congratulations, you are now officially a baker and I cannot wait to see the cookies that you guys come up with.